Urges are one of the most common reasons for NoFap relapse. On NoFap, you'll have a lot of urges, especially in the beginning. It's critical that you learn to manage them. I'll explain what NoFap urges are, why you get them, how to control them, how long you'll have them, and everything else you need to know about them in this article. What exactly are NoFap urges? Urges are strong feelings of desire or temptation to do something. Urges are a strong desire to watch porn, masturbate, or edge in NoFap. When you give up an addiction or compulsive behavior, you'll feel compelled to do it again. The stronger the urges will be if you were addicted to porn and masturbation. Why do we experience urgence on NoFap? Before we get into how to deal with urges on NoFap, it's important to understand why we get them. An urge is a part of your brain's addiction pathway, according to science. Dopamine is released in the brain when you watch porn and masturbate. Your brain has linked pornography and masturbation to pleasure. When you stop doing those things, your brain runs out of dopamine, which is required for pleasure. So your brain deceives you by inducing cravings in order for you to satisfy them and for your brain to receive dopamine. You will not experience pleasure without that dose of dopamine. Porn and masturbation have desensitized your brain to the point where the dopamine released by other pleasurable activities such as exercising, socializing, working toward a goal, and so on no longer gives you pleasure because the dopamine released by porn and masturbation is much higher. Because you can't get pleasure from other activities, your brain forces you to engage in pornography and masturbation, which produce the most dopamine. The important thing is to give your brain enough time to resensitize. After a period of time without PMO porn, masturbation, or orgasm, your brain will begin to derive pleasure from other activities, and you will no longer require porn or masturbation to feel pleasure. Urges are simply your brain's attempt to get you to return to your old habit of watching porn and jerking off in order for it to get its dopamine fix. On NoFap, how do I control my urges? Now that you know what NoFap urges are and why we get them, you should be able to control them in a variety of ways. 1. Schedule your extreme. If you've been following the NoFap lifestyle for a while, you've probably noticed that your urges usually strike when you're free and have nothing to do. Keep yourself busy for the majority of the day, both mentally and physically. Don't be a couch potato. You'll have fewer urges if you keep yourself mentally and physically busy. And the urges you have while doing something else are unlikely to lead to a relapse. To keep yourself occupied, you can learn a new skill, develop a new hobby, work on your goals, or watch something educational. The key is to replace porn and masturbation with something constructive, and to do something productive with the time you wasted on PMO. You'll keep relapsing if you don't replace it with something constructive. 2. Unfollow all Instagram models. You must be aware of the triggers that cause you to have cravings and relapse, and then work to eliminate those triggers. For a lot of guys, it's Instagram's hot models. Seeing half-naked women will undoubtedly provoke and trigger you, particularly if you're new to NoFap. Unfollow all models, pages, and content that may trigger you across all of your social media platforms. During the first few days of NoFap, it would be ideal to avoid all social media less than 30 days. However, if you are unable to do so, the very least you can do is unfollow all content that may cause you to relapse. 3. Meditate. Meditation can help you control your urges. One of the many advantages of meditation is the ability to control urges on NoFap. Make it a habit to meditate for at least 20 minutes every day. It will relax your mind, and you will notice that you have fewer urges throughout the day. You have a monkey mind if you don't meditate. Because it will go in all directions and think about everything, increasing your chances of having an urge and relapsing. If you make meditation a habit, you'll notice that fewer random thoughts enter your mind, and the chances of sexual thoughts entering your mind are also reduced. 4. Do push-ups whenever you feel the need. Push-ups are a great way to get rid of cravings quickly. Drop to the floor and begin doing push-ups whenever you feel the urge. It'll put a stop to your cravings in no time. Do as many push-ups as you can until you're out of breath in sets. NoFap urges are nothing more than bottled up sexual energy. That energy has to be released in some way. You're going to ejaculate and waste that sexual energy if you don't transmute it. Instead, You can do push-ups to channel your energy into something useful. You can use that sexual energy to build a good body by doing push-ups. You'll notice that your urge to do push-ups is gone once you've exhausted yourself and run out of breath. 5. Take an extremely cool shower. Another quick-acting urge suppressant is a cold shower. In addition to controlling NoFap urges, cold showers have numerous advantages. Go to the bathroom, strip off your clothes, and jump into a cold shower whenever you feel compelled. The difference will be obvious right away. Showering in cold water makes you feel uneasy and causes you to forget about your desires. You won't want to relapse because you'll be too uncomfortable. Every day, ideally, you should take a cold shower. Switch to cold settings for 2 minutes after your regular shower. It will suffice to satisfy your cravings for the remainder of the day. 6. Take part in activities outside the house. If you've been practicing NoFap for a while, you've probably noticed that your relapses tend to occur when you're alone in your room with no one to talk to. Spending as much time outside as possible is the key to overcoming it. You're safe as long as you stay outside because you can't masturbate outside. Spending a lot of time outside, especially in the early days of NoFap when the chances of relapsing are higher, is extremely beneficial. You can go out with your friends, attend an event, volunteer, or simply sit in a park. Make it a habit to spend 30 minutes each day outside, in nature. Spending a lot of time inside your house is bad for your mental health as well as your NoFap streak. 7. Whenever the urges hit, call a friend. This is also a great way to deal with urges and avoid relapsing as a result of them. Call a friend or a relative whenever you have an urge to talk about anything. It will keep you occupied while distracting your mind from urges. When you're on the phone, you can't relapse. It's even better if you have a NoFap accountability partner. You can call them and let them know you're having a relapse urge. They'll keep you on the phone as long as the urge is present in order to keep you from relapsing. You can call any friend and talk about anything until your urges are gone and you feel in control, even if you don't have an accountability partner. 8. NoFap forums online. You can go to any of the online NoFap forums on the internet if you don't have a friend you can call and talk to, or if it's too late to call someone. They are an excellent resource for not only learning about NoFap but also avoiding relapse when cravings arise. You'll get motivated and remember why you're on NoFap if you go there and read some of the motivational stories. Remembering why you're on NoFap will help you stay motivated to resist the urge and avoid relapse. 9. Reminisce about how you will feel after relapse. If you're reading this, it's likely that you've been doing NoFap for a while and have relapsed at least once. You're well aware of how you feel following a relapse. After a relapse, no one is ever happy. Depression, anxiety, guilt, and regret are always present after a relapse. Reminding yourself of those feelings before relapsing will help you resist temptation and avoid relapsing. You can also write down how you feel after a relapse on a piece of paper and refer to it whenever the urge to relapse strikes. How long will the fears last? Now that you know how to control urges, you might be wondering how long you'll have to resist and control them. Urges will always be present, is the answer to that question. However, this isn't always a bad thing. It's natural for humans to become horny. Even if you completely give up PMO, urges will still exist, but you'll be better at controlling and transmuting them. Urgences are not always bad. As I've previously stated, urges aren't always bad. If you give in to your desires and relapse, you've squandered your sexual energy and become more reliant on PMO for pleasure. If you can control your urges and channel that sexual energy into something useful, then urges become your friend because you're putting them to good use. One of the most powerful forms of energy that you can transmute to achieve something or achieve your life goals is sexual energy. Final remarks. Urges are strong feelings of desire or temptation to do something. Urges are a strong desire to watch porn, masturbate, or edge in NoFap. If you give up an addiction or compulsive behavior, you'll feel compelled to do it again. Urges during NoFap are your brain's attempt to get you to consume porn or masturbate so it can get its dopamine fix. On NoFap, there are 9 ways to control urges: get busy. Unfollow all models on Instagram. Meditate. Time outside. Call a friend whenever urges hit. Online NoFap forums. Remind yourself how you'll feel after relapsing. Urges will always be present, but with practice, you'll be able to manage them better. Urges aren't always bad, they're simply a buildup of sexual energy. You can use that sexual energy to accomplish something or achieve your life objectives. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss any future videos. Also, take a look at our other videos. I'll see you in the next one.